Hello my subscribers. Welcome to another video here on Jamaican chapter. I am Nigel D. Salmon. Such a beautiful view I'm having here. I am coming to you in this video from Bethlehem Moravian Church and the college. Okay, so it's Bethlehem Moravian College and Church. They share the same compound. But I'm doing the church. So as you know, in this video, what I do is that I will tour the church and then I'll go to the cemetery of the church. So this is another video in the church tour series of St. Elizabeth, where I'm touring churches here in St. Elizabeth. And now I'm at Bethlehem Moravian Church. And the church is right up there. As you can see, there's a clock right on the top there. You see students going about their business. I was trying my best earlier on to find the priest of the church, but the priest is not here. And there was nobody who was providing me with information as to when the church was built and things like that. I wanted to know that.
What are you doing here?
So the church and the college are together on the same compound. See a lot of cars, and I believe the college being this close to the church is probably what caused the church to be kept so in such a good condition. Taken care of. So I'm looking here at the back of the church. This is the office. No one is there. They have really a nice view from here. A really nice view from here. You know? You can see all path all the way down there. I can't zoom it, it is so far away. My zoom is not that powerful. But you can look over there in, you know, the hills of Manchester and the hills of other hills. And they say that Malvern is cool. I must tell you, it's true. It's very cool up here. And it still whole has that historic look, you know, the buildings, the older buildings, you know, things like that. It still has some remnants of the early 1900s and the 1800s too. I believe it's the hurricane that did this. It has to be. So we have just been to the back of the church. when I came, I noticed that the door of the church is open. The door of the church is open, so I say I have to go inside and take a look inside. Wonder if that bell is still working, don't know. So let's take a look inside. There's nobody saying I can't go inside, so, right? Let me see. Wow. This is the inside of the church. It's absolutely well kept. As I say, I think it's because the college is on the same compound why the church is getting this care. Because other Moravian churches, they tend to be falling apart, man. In here is quiet, relaxing. You could just come in here and pray, or just come in here and relax. They have flat screen televisions too. There is one over there. There's one there. And there is one here. And there's one down there. So modern equipment. And there's one up there also. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4 flat screen televisions here in this church. Here we have a plaque. It says, "In loving memory of Gertrude Elizabeth Holness, 1902 to 1992. It says, who dedicated her life to serving the church and the community. And she appears to have died when she was 90 years old. Gertrude Elizabeth Holness. So she's recognized for her community work. The chairs are all clean and looking good. The windows are in good condition. Some of the windows have lost 2 panes and so on, but they're looking good. Bethlehem Moravian Church. A lot of fans in the ceiling here. Ceiling looks really good. You know, can say this church has survived hurricane, the recent hurricane, Beryl. Look at the piano. Wow, so polished, so nice. I'm not gonna touch it. You know, this is a piano, so polished and so, wow. Wow, look at it. It reminds me of watching some of those artists that I love, playing at the piano. It's an old piano, I know. Just look at it. It's old, but it's all polished and kept in good condition. Did I say I'm not gonna touch it, but yet I'm touching it? The brand is, what's that? Yamaha. The Yamaha brand. Lovely piano. Then I have the drum set here. looking good. So I thought Moravian churches don't have drum set. They have drum sets, of course, and keyboard. So, and then there's a drum, the hand drum. That's a hand drum. They must have. I don't think they would want to hit that with the whatever you call that, the stick. It's like something you beat with your hands. And up here, where I guess the choir sits. So take a view from up at the altar, and I look down. A huge place, spacious, clean, looking good. Here at the side window, oh, look out. Oh, that building must have suffered. That's an old building anyway. Looking over in Manchester Hill. All right, so this is the inside of the Bethlehem Moravian Church. So now I'm gonna go outside and I'm going to be touring the cemetery. I will be touring the cemetery to find out the history of some of the individuals buried there. Right, let's take a walk down now. The cemetery is actually off the property. You have to walk off the property and then you go to the cemetery. So let's head there. So I'm moving back in because now I'm going to the cemetery. I've already viewed the church. So now let's head to the cemetery. And as I said, the cemetery is outside of the gate. This is the gate. And then you turn right. I head over to the cemetery. So you can see the cemetery is a little away from the church. And rightfully so, because there would not have been much space. I don't know how big over here is. So I've seen it on the map. Now I'm looking at it myself. You can have the minute I look all the way down there, I can see that there are many old graves here. Many old graves. Graves from, in my opinion, the 1800s. It's a huge cemetery. Look at it. And that hill up there, I'm not gonna go up there yet. All right, so let me find out. Let me find out now the history of some of the In fact, I'm gonna try to read all the graves. This may be another part one, part two. I had to do a part one and part two for the St. Peter's Church in Pedro Plains, because there were so many graves that I had to read that day. So if you're seeing part one on the thumbnail, it means that I've spent a lot of time over here. And I don't want my videos to be more than an hour long. All right. Look at this grave. Look at the design of this one. It's designed with stones. And then there is a huge stone that makes the headstone. All right, let's find out who is buried here. This one says, in loving memory of Reverend Ivan Reginald Shaw, O.D. Reverend Ivan Reginald Shaw was born at Springfield, St. Elizabeth on January 3, 1912, to parents Joseph Shaw and Edith Hastings. He was educated at Michael Teachers College and Rose Beaufort College in England. He served as head of many primary schools and also as education officer. On retirement from the Ministry of Education, he was ordained a minister in the Moravian Church. So, let me say it again. In loving memory of Ivan Reginald Shaw, O.D., January 3, 1912 to August 9, 1977. And they designed the grave. I've never seen a grave design like this. They designed it all out of stone, and then they put a big stone at the top of it here. The design is almost unique. I've never seen it like this. I've never seen one like this. Beside the Reverend, we see the grave of Cherise Cadian Raymond. Cherise Cadian Raymond was a student of Hampton High School and a resident of Malvern here in St. Elizabeth. She was at school on March 23, 2001, when a truck came to the school to deliver goods. The truck came in contact with a utility pole, causing the pole to break and fell on her. Cherise Cadian Raymond died from the impact. Yeah, 12 years old girl. So I'm gonna go in front to say sacred to the memory of our beloved Herbert David Fagan, who departed this life on the 8th March 1920, age 70 years. Herbert David Fagan, who died on March 8, 1980, at age 70, which means that he was born about 1910. Alright, so we're looking here at the grave of, it's a Reginald W. Davis, born the 29 of the 12, 1919, died the 18 of the 8, 1999. So he was born in 1918, he died in 1999. Reginald W. Davis. Almost made it to the start of the millennium. This one says, in loving memory of a dear father, grandfather, and brother, Harvey L. Foster, who died on the 23rd of November, 1973, age 84. Harvey Foster. He died in 1973 at age 84. It means that you were born in the late 1800s. And here are two graves. This has to be husband and wife because they share the same surname and they are buried together inside of this grilled up area. This one says, in loving memory of Kenneth A. Davis, 1914 to 1990. Kenneth A. Davis. And beside Kenneth, the two graves are designed the same way, so you immediately know they are related, or they are, okay, in this case, they are husband and wife, obviously. This say, in loving memory of a dear mother, sister, and cousin, Mavis Beatrice Fraser Davis, June 24, 1908 to November 20, 1995. So she was born in 1908 and she died in 1995. So she died 5 years after her husband over there. I'm looking at this grave here and I see a lot of nameplates. A lot of nameplates. It's obviously a grave which contains a casket, but on top of it you can see about one up here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, actually 3 names, and then here's another headstone with another name, and here is another name, another name, another name, another name. So I figured in myself that is either that one person was buried here or two persons full bodied and the others were cremated and their ashes placed inside of this. But I assume I don't know. So here we have on this grave, we have, it says, in memoriam, it say Stanford A. Thomas, 1889 to 1972. That's Stanford A. Thomas. Born 1889, died 1972. His wife, Ethel U. Thomas, 1893 to 1955. So his wife Ethel died before him and he lived until 1972. So his wife Ethel died in 1955. And then they say her mother, which would be Ethel mother, Jane C. Ebanks, 1845 to 1941. So you have Stanford A. Thomas, his wife Ethel Thomas, and her mother Jane Ebanks. So what happened here? I don't know. I don't know if they were buried full-bodied here or they were... Who is buried here? Whose body is the one buried full? The next one is of Ethel, the same Ethel, that's the wife of Stanford. They put another headstone for her here by itself. So Ethel died in 1955, so she could have been the one who was buried here first. But her mother died in 1941, so I don't know. But this here says, in loving memory of a dear mother, Jane Ebanks, which is the same Jane Ebanks mentioned up here. She was the same one mentioned up there. So these are not different persons. These are not different persons. So Ethel is mentioned here. Ethel is mentioned here. Jane C. Ebanks is mentioned there. Jane C. Ebanks is mentioned here. So she's mentioned here also. Let me see who's mentioned down here. Alright, I'm not going to read any more from this grave. Or maybe I should. So at the foot of the grave you have, it says, in loving memory of Elton Earl Thomas. And you have, in loving memory of Garfield Bosworth Thomas. And you have Maisie Ione Thomas Lee. She married somebody who was Lee. Now I get it. Now I get it. So here's what happened. This is what happened. Stanford Thomas and his wife Ethel Thomas and Ethel Thomas' mother are mentioned here. If you look at the bottom here, it says, by his children, Stanford Thomas and his wife, by his children, Maisie, Egerton, Seymour, Jeffrey, Elton, Garfield, Glenda, and Ivor. Some of these children have later died since their father died and when they died, they were cremated. Because here we have Elton. Remember, Elton was mentioned as a child. Elton died in 2007. We have Garfield. Garfield was mentioned as one of the children. He died in 2024. That's last year. And he was cremated and his ash buried here. And here we have Maisie, who was mentioned as one of the children. She died in 2002. So what we have here is Stanford, his wife Ethel, Ethel's mother Jane, and then we have three of Stansford children here, three of them. All right, let's continue. So one says, in loving memory of a devoted husband and father, Arnold Smith died the 30th July 1972, age 60. Arnold C. Smith died 1972, age 60. Beside Arnold, we have Michael A. Martin. In loving memory of Michael A. Martin, died the 21st of June 1972, age 76. So Michael Martin here died 1 month before Arnold over there. Edith Hamilton. Edith Hamilton. Say, in fond memory of Edith R. Hamilton, born January 10, 1893, died May 2, 1972. So you have Edith Hamilton here, died in May. Michael Martin here, that died in June of 1972. And then Arnold over there died July. So it's like they died months after month in 1972. Oh, this is a nice grave, but there's nothing on it. Nothing on this one. All right. The angel has lost its head. The angel has lost its head. Well, you have been here since 1972. No wonder you have been here so long. You lost your head, huh? Okay, this say in loving memory of let me say that again. In loving memory of my loving husband, Joshua L. Holness. Born June 11th, 1903, died June 4th, 1972, sadly missed by wife Gertie. Joshua Holness. This is a grave of Lambert Carleslie, yeah. Lambert Carleslie Marrett, born August 8, 1886, died March 25, 1973. And on the other side it says, remembered with joy. Wow, you want to remember him with joy? Oh, joy of the good times they have together. So this is Lambert Marrett. Marrett, Marrett, 1886 to 1973. Look at the graves here. Oh my word. People who have lived so many years ago, and many of them have shaped this place here in Malvern for future generation. All right, there are 4 graves up here, and I need to read them. Okay. Says, in loving memory of my dear husband, Ernest E. Jones, August 10, 1911 to August 13, 1984. So he was born in August, he died in August. Ernest E. Jones. This one says, in loving memory of Cicely Eugenie Jones, February 1, 1928 to February 22, 1919. So Cicely Eugenie Jones, born in February, died in February. Water truck. We are having dry weather here in St. Elizabeth. Yes, we are currently having dry weather here in St. Elizabeth. This one says, in loving memory of our dear father and grandfather, Stephen Alexander Morgan, Tia, born February 2, 1906, died March 14, 1996. So he was 90 years old, Stephen Alexander Morgan. In loving memory of Joseph Roach, March 31, 1929 to June 27, 1999. Joseph Roach. So how old was Joseph Roach? He was 70 years old. This one is Rose Robertson, relic of late Peter Samuels Robertson, pharmacist. Okay, so what this is saying, they're saying Rose Robertson and relic, it means widow. Widow of late Peter Samuels Robertson. And Peter Samuel was a pharmacist. Rose Robertson, she died February 28, 1968. Rose Robertson. That's a long time. Died 1968. Quite a long time. So where is the grave of Mr. Peter Samuels Robertson? I'm not sure. Maybe I'll see it here. Hopefully. This says, in loving memory of a dear wife and mother, Estella Redman, who departed this life July 6, 1970. Estella Redman died July 6, 1970. I like when they put the year when the person born, because then you can know how old they were. This must be Estella's husband. It says, in loving memory of a devoted father and grandfather, Eric Redman, who departed this life the 27th of the 10th, 1976. So, husband and wife, Estella died in 1970 and Eric Redman died 1976. This one says, Francis Elsie Forder. So that's Francis Elsie Forder, died the 21st July 1970, sister of M.C. Forder, tutor at Bethlehem College, daughter of Elizabeth and John Hastings Forder of Cornwall and somewhere in England. So this is the grave of Francis Elsie Forder. In memory of Robert A. Fagan. That's Robert A. Fagan, who died October 1, 1970, age 78. Which means that he was born in 1892. And beside Robert Fagan, the both of them graves are connected together. So this could be the grave of his wife. It's likely. But of course, there's nothing here. So only Robert one has something to read. This one says, in loving memory of Cecil Scott Tomlinson. Cecil Scott Tomlinson, born the 6th of June 1891, died the 12th of December 1970. Cecil Scott Tomlinson. This one says, in loving memory of Claudius V. Brown, born the 17th June 1903, died the 14th February 1971. Claudius V. Brown. You can see that they prepared this grave for a headstone, but either it was put there and it was removed, or it was never put there. Or it could have been stolen. Who knows? Could have been stolen, you know. This one says, in memory of Arthur Blake. See, that's Arthur Blake. A devoted husband and loving father, died September 13, 1971, age 75 years. So he was born in about 1890. 96. Arthur Blake. These two graves were grilled around. The grill rot away. Look at it. It's rusty. The back part fell off. And these must be husband and wife, huh? It says, in memory of my loving husband, Eric Black, died the 4th January 1972, age 69. Eric Black died January 4, 1972. It says in memory of my loving husband. I think that was the wife speaking. Then the wife died. And this is the wife. It says, in memory of a beloved mother, Gloria L. Black, born the 22nd November 1908, died the 4th October 1975. So she died on October 4, 1975. And at the time that they were burying her husband, she said, in memory of my loving husband. Then 3 years later, she joined him. And on this, somebody say, in loving memory of a beloved mother. So they are together now. Gloria Black and Eric Black. Husband and wife. You say, this one says, in loving memory of a dearly beloved husband, father, and grandfather, Rudolph Vincent Newman, JP. So he was a justice of the peace here. He was born 1901 and he died 1982. So he was about 81 years old. Rudolph Vincent Newman. Okay. There is a Newman beside him. Could be his wife. A grave that is taller than his. And I have to step up on it. So, Rudolph Vincent Newman died in 1982. And this person buried beside him died in 1991. Could be his wife. It says, in loving memory of a beloved wife and mother, Ivy A. Newman. March 21, 1915 to January 16, 1991. And if this is readable, like it's kind of rubbed out. Let me see what I can make of it. In loving memory of a dear husband, father, and grandfather, and I'm not sure what that is. Okay, I can make out. It's like it says, um, Nibert or Herbert Nathaniel Hall. Hall is his last name. Why did they use this? Because this little black thing, they're just falling out. This person died in 2008. Okay, so it's a Nibert or Herbert Hall. That born July 25, 1935, died April 12, 2008. I'm doing this row by row, row by row. Here is the other row I'm gonna be doing here. This is the grave of Doris Ina Griffiths. She was born April 2, 1928, and she died January 13, 2021. This is the grave of Roderick Rupert Watson. October 10, 1933 to March 25, 2008, it says, "To live in the hearts of those we love is not to die." I totally agree with that. Roderick Robert Watson. And beside Robert is a grave that looks just like his, painted in black and white. It says, "Sacred to the memory of a dear wife and mother, Valerie Maud Watson, April 28, 1934 to April 12, 1987. So I think Valerie Maud Watson was the wife of Roderick Rupert Watson. She died before him. She died way back in 1987, and he would live until 2008. At this grave here, this is the grave of Mary Keziah Green. That's Mary Keziah Green, who died July 27, 1967, age 79 years. Beside Mary, we have the grave of what's that? Marlene Marshall? No, Madeline. Yes. In loving memory of Madeline Marshall, August 27, 1912 to September 1, 2002. So that's Madeline Marshall. She lived long, 1912 to 2002. And there's a Marshall buried beside her. Could this be her husband? This says Job. What's it called? Joubert. So that's Joubert Marshall. Died the 27th July 1967. Age 67. And when... Okay, so I think this could be the husband. They died so far apart. He was born... No, they didn't... Well, he was born in 1900 because he was 67 when he died in 1967. This says in loving memory of Beatrice W. Kawana. Pronounce that. Kawanoff. Beatrice W. Kawanoff. 1925 to 2016. Oh, I love this name. It says, in memory of Alice Blake, a devoted wife and loving mother, died March 12, 1969. Alice Blake. She's described as a devoted wife and loving mother. Oh, and they say her age. She was 70 years old when she died. 70. When she died on March 12, 1969. Alice Blake. Alice Blake is such a nice name. If you were not nice with that name, it's really bad for you. Son says, in loving memory of James Bramwell. Died June 10, 1969, age 65. James Bramwell died June 10, 1969. That's a long time ago, you know. It's a long time ago. In loving memory of Hazel. How do you pronounce that? Hezi? I think it's Hezi. Hezi King. Died the 12th of the 11th, 1991. Age 98 years old. You live long, Hezi King. Died on the 12th of November, 1991 at age 98. And beside him is another king, in loving memory of Norman King. Died October 9, 1988, age 64. Norman King died in 1988. This is the tomb of Mervyn King. Mervyn King was the husband of Hezi King. He was a lawyer who lived in Malvern, St. Elizabeth. Mervyn King died on January 26, 1967. I did not find the cause of his death. I meet upon that surname again. In cherished memory of Marianne Kavanagh. Mary Ann Kavanagh was born on August 4, 1882, and she died on November 21, 1969. She was living in Fairmount, Malvern, St. Elizabeth. She had hypertension and she died after she had a stroke. Marianne Kavanagh. Oh, Mary. Is that Marianne? It's Mary Ann. Well, you saw the name anyway. This one says, in loving memory of a dear brother. What's this? Where does this M come from? I think it's Felix D. Martin, born March 12, 1919, died February 1, 1968. So that's Felix D. Martin. Felix Martin was a cultivator living in Cabbage Valley, Malvern, St. Elizabeth. He had hypertension and died from a massive cerebral hemorrhage. (1919 to 1968). Look at that wall that they built. See that wall? That's a very old wall. It's a stone wall built all the way curving that corner. Man, it must have taken a lot of work to build a stone. You know, there's so many stones in that wall. All right. In loving memory of a dear father, Michael Level, Level, whatever that's pronounced. Michael Level, born February 2, 1905, and died April 17, 1967. So he's about 62 when he died. Yeah, he was 62 when he died. 1905 to 1967. Ah, Lucille, I saw your name from all the way. Oh, this must be his wife. In loving memory of a dear mother, Lucille Maud Level, same last name, Level, born August 1, 1912, died November 16, 1988. So I believe that Michael, the husband, and Lucille, the wife, buried very close to each other. Look at this row. So this is the row I'm gonna take. They're buried really neatly in rows, going right up. So this grave has nothing on it. Oh, it does. It does. It does here. It says, in loving memory of our dear beloved mother, Mistress Charlotte. Is that Charlotte? R. There's no R in it. So it's either Charlotte or Colette. But you're looking at it. So Mistress Colette Brown died January 15, 1968, age 94 years. She was 94 years old when she died in 1968. Oh. This one says, memory of our dear father, Philip Brown, who departed this life October 2, 1966. So I believe this is the husband of Charlotte, or what her name pronounced, over there. So he died 1966, age, I can't make out the age, maybe 80s, no, maybe 96 or 86, I'm not sure. So Philip Brown is, in my opinion, the husband of the lady over there, Charlotte Brown. I don't know, my pronunciation is not that great, and my spelling is not that great either. I write well, I write English well, but when it comes to pronunciation, I have problems there. This one says, in loving memory of Emma Fagan Ford, and she was called Aunt Emma. Died July 12, 1966, age 97. And they say, bless the Lord, O my soul. Emma Fagan Ford, July 12, 1966, she died at age 97. Still going up in this row here. In loving memory of Lance Field Austin Kavanaugh, born January 11, 1919, and died July 3, 1966. Lansfield is probably related to the other Kavanaugh that I read out here. Where's the headstone for this? Obviously it was there. There is a remnant of it here. So I'm not sure what happened. Someone must have stolen it. But it's not there anymore. And that's not good, because then you make the grave blank and people don't know who was buried there. In cherished memory of our dear daughter Phyllis Ann Bogle, killed the 5th of November 1965, age 24. And they actually put it on it to say that she was killed in cherished memory of our dear daughter Phyllis Ann Bogle, killed 5th November 1965, aged 24. So she was killed, and they ensure they put it here so that future generation will know this young girl was killed. Where is... Okay, there's a little wasp that is following me. There's a little wasp that it keeps following me around, man. Okay, it's gone now. It's gone. Alright, this one says, this is the tomb of Vivian Wesley Gammon, a loving wife, a loving stepmother, a kind and faithful friend, died 11th April 1970. This one says, in loving memory of a devoted wife and mother, Christabel Blackwood, died the 7th December 1964, age 74. That's Christabel Blackwood. And they say a devoted wife and mother. So this is the grave of a lady. She died 74 in 1964. Why is this? Here come that wasp again. What's wrong with... I wonder if I can video it. You see that wasp? Look at it. It's just following me around. Oh my God. Now it's 2 of them. I don't know if I'm gonna get stung by these wasps or something. Alright. This says, in loving memory of a dear husband and father, David Blackwood, born April 27, 1885. So David Blackwood, born 1885, and he died 1975. This is the grave of Aubrey E. Daly, born the 25th of August 1880, died the 23rd August 1964. Aubrey Daly. Vassal Stephen Fagan. We cannot, Lord, thy purpose see, but all is well that's done by thee. Sadly missed by wife, children, other relatives, and friends. April 24, 1905 to April 19, 1991. Wow. in memory of a dear husband and father, Charles F. Hill, born the 16th November born 16th November 1894, departed this life 8th July 1964. So he was born in 1894, he died in 1964. Charles H. F. Hill. And there's a hill beside him. Let me see, who is this? And here we have the grave of Emma Josephine Hill, born September 12, 1897, died August 2, 1981, age 84 years. So Emma Josephine Hill, in my opinion, was the wife of Charles Hill, buried down there. Well, she would have been the widow because he died first. Yes. Okay, so this is the grave of Hilma Gordon. Gordon. So that's our Thelma. Can't figure this out. Could be Thelma Gordon. 1918 to 2013. Look at these two graves here, painted in black and white. Why is it so tall? They must have put the casket right here and not down in the ground. So the casket would have been placed, I think so. I think the casket was placed up here. It's really tall. They usually build them this tall in old time days. And this is the resting place of Ethla Sawyers Nee Graham. So she was born Ethla Graham and she married a Sawyers. She was born June 3, 1929 and she died August 2, 2017. It says, as a wife, devoted. As a mother, affectionate. As a friend, trusted and loved. Your reward is to run with the angels. Sit with the saints and enjoy sweet rest. Ethla Sawyers, 1929 to 2017. Her grave seemed to be the only tall one here, looking like this. So it seems like the casket is inside this tall up thing, right? And beside her would be her husband, no doubt. No doubt this is the grave of her husband. This is her husband. What is that? Thurgos? This name. This is her husband. He was born July 4, 1930 and died December 12, 2023. So he lived some 6 years after the death of his wife. Cecil Ray Scott Tomlinson, 1925 to 2001. And this must be the grave of his wife. I'm gonna assume that Elsie Valerie Tomlinson, 1927 to 2014. That's another Tomlinson. And there is another Tomlinson here also. In loving memory of a dear son, father, brother, Patrick Algernon Tomlinson. Born 1959, died 1990. He was young. So I'm assuming that Patrick was the son of Elsie and Cecil. Yeah, I believe that. So you have the husband, you have the wife, and you have their young son that died. I'm gonna try to find out what he died from. Hopefully I find his death registration form. This is the grave of late Lawton C. Bloomfield. That's right. Bloomfield. Lawton C. Bloomfield. He died in 1974 at age 75. So that means he was born in 1899. Philip Millington Fletcher. Yes. Say, in loving memory of a dear father, Philip Millington Fletcher, died the 1st of September 1959, the very same year that Patrick was born. Not Patrick. Yes, Patrick right up there. Patrick. This one has no writings. Nothing is on it. Behind this grave appears to be an urnement. There has to be an urn inside of this. Say S. Con Hamilton. Stephen Con Hamilton died in Miami, Florida on December 6, 1996. His funeral was held on February 22, 1997. His body was cremated. And it's Hamilton, and it's right behind the grave of Henry Hope Hamilton, a devoted husband and father who departed this life the 12th of March 1960. So I'm not sure what's happening here. Father and son, or maybe brother and brother. No, but they are related. Karina N. Brown, 1978 to 1995, sadly missed by mom, dad, auntie, Pat, family, and friends. So how old was she? She was born in 1978 and she died in 1995, which means that she was about 17 years old. Karina N. Brown, 17 years old. Am I right? Yeah, she was 17. Or, she was actually 16 because her birthday didn't come yet. And they say she's missed by mom, dad, auntie, Pat, family, and friends. 1995. Maybe it's a tragic death. You're 16-year-old, you either had some kind of sickness or you died tragically, right? Ithilda E. Reed, 1887 to 1968. This must be leftover tile from the grave of the young girl here. This is an old grave. The minute you see it, anytime you come to a graveyard and you see a narrow grave like this, it's an old grave. And says, in loving memory of our dear mother, Ruth Barnett Leard? Ruth Barnett Leard. She died the 31st of December 1960 at age 80. Way back in 1960. Louis what? I don't know what that is. Louis Finley? Finley. Finlay. Finley. So this was a man who born in the 1800s. Oh! Oh, fuck. And action. Say, in memory of our dear mother, Mistress Mary Lewis, born 1859, died May 4, 1962. This is the grave of Mary Lewis. There's nothing to read here. Look at this small headstone. It says, in loving memory of my beloved husband, F. Mullins, 1907 to 1962. There's another grave with a little cute headstone, but this one is rubbed out. Can't make that out either. Like they built this one for a headstone and the headstone did not come. And they probably have no will to put one there. This one say, in loving memory of a dear husband and kind father, Joseph Nathaniel Barnett, born July 20, 1878, died October 28, 1963. Joseph Nathaniel. So this could be Joseph's wife, Alice Rebecca, born the 2nd of February 1909, died August 1986. See, all these graves, I've read them already. All the graves you're looking at there, I've read all of them that can be read. And I'm down in almost a little sink here. Almost a little sink here. Not almost a little sink, it's a sink. And I'm looking at here. I don't know if it's a grave or it's an urnment, but when I say urnment, I don't know if there's an urn under there. This says, in memory of Phyllis Robinson, died the 28th of the 1, 1977, age 45 years. Sadly missed by all. So she was 45 in 1977 when she died. Phyllis Robinson. Here's a grilled up area here. Let's see if I can make out this. No, I ain't gonna make that out. So one say, in loving memory of a dear husband and father, Jocelyn H. Robinson, who departed this life May 6, 1961, age 52. So I believe he and his wife are buried here. So he died on the 6th of May, 1961, age 52. He and his wife, I believe, are inside of this grilled up area. This is the grave of Faye Wilson. She died on December 6, 1961, at age 17. 17 years old, Faye Wilson. She was just 17. Can I make this out? This look a little difficult, but I think I can read it. And says, in loving memory of our dear mother, grandmother, E. Robinson. Yeah, E. Robinson, who fell asleep October 25, 1958, age, what's that? I'm not sure what that is. Not sure what age is that. Ah, this is an old grave here. What does it say? It says, in loving memory of a beloved wife and mother, Mistress Muriel Blackwood. Oh, this was a nice grave design. It's a little broken up now. Let me hear what it says. It says, in loving memory of Edith Annie Rainford, widow of Reverend Rainford of Ripon, England. Born 14th September 1872, died the 14th December 1956. Edith Annie Rainford. Nice design, nice design. Absolutely nice design. She has been resting here since 1956. I'm gonna pass that one. I see some difficulty in pronunciation for me. Now I'm gonna read it. Okay. In loving memory of Deaconess Gloria This is the tomb of Miss Gloria Gammon. In September of 1955, she became the first Jamaican headmistress of Hampton High School in Malvern, St. Elizabeth. She served in the position for 27 years. She was born on June 13, 1918, and she died on January 22, 1991, from breast cancer. Welcome to Jamaican chapter. This one says Frederick Martin died the 21st of September 1956, age 81. Frederick Martin died 1956, age 81. This one say, in loving memory of Mistress Emma Bent, who departed this life on October 24, 1955. Emma Bent. I wonder what Emma Bent was like. Ida Sybil Hendricks, born the 21st of September 1878, died the 5th December 1960. Okay, so she was in her 80s when she died. Ida Sybil Hendricks. And I believe this would be her husband. No doubt this is her husband. Yes, in loving memory of William George Hendricks. Born August 1873, died October 1954, which is like 6 years before his wife over there. Both of them are buried here. The Hendricks. Harold Watson. Harold Watson. January 7th, 1902, September 6th, 1954. Harold Watson. He was 52 years old when he died. Beside Harold Watson, maybe this is his wife, Dorothy Watson. I believe this is his wife. Yes. In loving memory of Dorothy G. Watson, September 23, 1906 to August 5, 1967. There's no doubt that Dorothy Watson was the widow of Harold Watson down there. The completion of another row. Let's take a break and listen to some music, huh? Alright, after that musical break, let's continue. In loving memory of Emma A. Ashton. Emma A. Ashton, who served at Bethlehem for 30 years. Died the 29th March 1945. She served at Bethlehem, which I think is Bethlehem. What could they be talking about? The college? Okay, Emma Ashton died March 29, 1945. So, in loving memory of Samuel C. Ashton, who served at Bethlehem for 30 years, died December 18, 1956. So he also served for 30 years at Bethlehem. Emma Ashton and Samuel Ashton, I think, yes, they are, because look at their grave. They joined them together. One died 1945, that's the wife, and the husband died 1956. And they both served for 30 years at Bethlehem. This one says, I'm not sure if you're seeing it good, it says, in loving memory of my dear husband, Albert Fraser, who died the 21st of February 1947, age 77. It says, "My dear husband," and this is the year 1947, and he was 77 in 1947. So the lady who is saying "my husband," I'm sure she has died. Okay, Albert Fraser Shaw, I'm sure she died also. I'm not sure if I'll see a Fraser around here for me to say that's her grave, but I haven't seen any Fraser nearby. This is the grave of Doris Beatrice Brown, born the 15th of the 11th, 1922, died the 18th of the 12th, 1991. Doris Beatrice Brown. I wonder if I'm related to this person. No. I know I was looking at my family history, and I remember that the mother of my great-grandmother has a name. Her name was Alice Brown. Alice Brown. And I remember my mother saying to me that they are buried somewhere out here. So who knows? Was it on this property? If I come across the name and it sounds familiar, I'll check. This is the grave of Ellen. You just say Ellen. Sacred to the memory of a beloved aunt, Ellen, wife of N.E. Seal. So that means she would be Ellen Seal. Died the 29th of May, 1952, age 94. The sky is a little cloudy. It looks like have rain clouds. But as far as I know, it doesn't fall any rain. Does it rain out here in Bethlehem? I know we're having drought. I don't know. All right, let's continue. So beside Ellen Seal are two graves, no doubt husband and wife. Let me read the one that died first, the wife. Mary Nathalie Hendricks, nee Todd. So she was born Mary Todd, and then she married into the Hendricks family. She was born September 19, 1913, and she died January 25, 1991. And this is her husband, who died 1 year later, William Derrick Gordon Hendricks. He was also born in 1913, and he died May 30, 1992, sadly missed by children Christopher, William, Diana, and grandchildren. And behind him is a Hendrick here, and this has to be an urn, and this is Diana Hendricks. So here in 1992, Diana's name is on her father's grave, and also on her mother's grave. Then in 2002 she died, and she's buried here. Her urn is placed behind her father's grave. So it's Diana Hendricks, born the 27th of the 4th, 1941, died the 15th of the 1, 2002. So Diana is a daughter of William and Mary. Charlotte Witter. Charlotte Witter. That's it. That's it. Charlotte Witter. Asleep in Jesus. They didn't put anything there. Just Charlotte Witter. Oh man, I meet upon this surname again. Emma W. Kavanagh died the 29th of December 1951. 1951 she died. And this is Lancelot A. Kavanagh. Died the 23rd of December 1963, age 77. So Lancelot and Emma are husband and wife. And here again is an urn behind the father's head, and it belongs to Edith Kavanagh. Trudy. She was called Trudy. She born in 1915 rather. Yeah. November 7, 1915. And she died July 17, 1984. So she's a daughter, no doubt. She's a daughter of Lancelot and Emma. Says, in loving memory of a dear wife and mother, Constance G. Peter, died the 29th of May 1952, age 57, which means that she was born about 1895. Who is this? Beryl Louise MacDonald, 1906 to July 8, 1952, and she was only aged 46. Beryl Louise MacDonald, 1906 to 1952. Here's another MacDonald. Jane MacDonald. Jane MacDonald died the 20th of the 4th, 1959, age 92. There's another MacDonald. I see it from afar here. Ina MacDonald, born March 1, 1908, died September 18, 1970. Ina was about age 62. Ina MacDonald. Mistress Ellen Rebecca Robinson, who died on the 16th of July 1952, age 72. Mistress Ellen Rebecca Robinson. Nothing here. I think they wrote something here, but it all got eroded. Yeah, that's what time does. Time erodes things. Millicent Muriel Morgan, Nee Lawrence. So she was born Millicent Lawrence. Then she married into a Morgan family. Millicent Muriel Morgan, born the 3rd of November 1926, died the 23rd of November 1952. This was a young woman. Millicent Muriel Morgan. Annie Russell. Annie Russell. Born May 7, 1899. Died September 9, 1964. You know, some people would wonder, why is it I'm reading graves? But I tell you something. What I'm doing right here is a documentary. It documents these graves. For persons who live far and can't come here, they're able to stay where they are and read these graves. You know, you don't have to come here because Jamaican chapter, you know. So if you are thinking, oh, you know, I have a great grandmother that buried at the cemetery at Bethlehem Moravian Church, check Jamaican chapter. You'll see her grave. As long as something is on it that I can read, you will see the grave of persons you know buried here. So this documentary is very important. In memory of Lynette A. Morgan, died December 17, 1995. That's Lynette A. Morgan. Wow, so I've finished this row here. I've finished this row. This grave obviously had a headpiece. I wonder if this is it. I wonder if this was the headpiece. No. But there was something here, but it got broken off. Can I read this one? Is it possible to read this one? Like you'd say, Miss D. Brown. Alright, I'm gonna leave this one. So difficult to read. I'm getting into the older section now. The section with the older graves. So you notice that you moved on from 1970s to the 1960s, then the 1950s. But you might see difference, you know. This one says, in loving memory of a dear mother and grandmother, Beatrice H. Beckford, born April 6, 1896, died April 6, 1988. Wow. This person died on her birthday, born April 6, 1896, and died April 6, 1988. Beatrice H. Beckford. What are the odds that you would die on your own birthday? I've heard it before. Whoa, 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 whoa. This person's grave fell apart. Fell apart badly. Let me see if I can read. It's not gonna keep, but I want to just hold it up to read it. It says, in loving memory of Civilline Ridgard. That's Sylvilline Ridgard, who fell asleep in Jesus on the 29th of November 1946. Efforts were made to make her grave nice. I put it back on it, but it could fall off again, but I'm gonna leave it. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it, even though it had fallen off, but I'm gonna just leave it there. You know, if it fall off again, then that's how it is. This one says, in loving memory of my dear husband, what's this? Oh, Alfred. In loving memory of my dear husband, Alfred Colburn. Colburn died February 19, 1946, aged 40. Alfred Colburn. And say, in loving memory of Frank James Scott, a devoted husband and father, died the 6th of March 1945, age 57. 57 years old, Frank James Scott. Oh, look at this grave. Oh my word. Did somebody actually dig this out, or did it just fall apart like that? I'm not sure. Could have just fall apart because, you know, the casket fell in. I don't know. And it's not a casket. I think it's probably a coffin. In loving memory of our dear wife and mother, Elizabeth Marshall. God, I don't know what that is. I can't even make it. They put something over it, and then the thing just mess everything up. I don't know. But it's a grave of a woman called Elizabeth. And it's fell in. Oh. This is readable. In never fading memory of Mary C. Jones, born 1888, departed this life on December 31, 1944, age 56 years. So she was born in 1888, and she died on December 31, 1944, at age 56. And they wrote, the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life. Rest in peace. Mary C. Jones. This one says, in memory of G. H. Foster, born 1867, died 1947. Oh my God. All right, guys. Wow. This is another grave here of someone. In memory of our dear friend Robert H. Neal, born 26 July 1856, died 8 September 1941, age 85. This is the grave of Isaac Martin, died December 6, 1972, at age 85. Isaac Martin. And this must be his wife, Mary Jane Martin. Martin died May 26, 1941, age 45. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. He died at age 85 in 1972, and she died, well, she died way back in 1941. So if she had lived until 1975, she would have in her 70s also. So yes, I believe that Mary Jane Martin was the wife of Isaac Martin. Hezekiah Findley. He died February 25, 1993, age 78. Hezekiah Findley. Mr. Hezekiah Findley. At this grave, made out of stone. This grave made out of stone, falling apart. Let me capture it before it's all gone. It says Stanley Angel Anderson, born July 25, 1889, died July 15, 1935. And it says, God giveth his faithful servant everlasting peace. Stanley Anderson died July 15, 1935. The reason why this has not fallen over is because it is heavy and broad. Walter Smith. Walter Smith, 1876 to 1942. Walter Smith. What's this? Edith C. Bristol, 1872 to 1935. Edith Bristol. In loving memory George Stard. This is the resting place of Annie Banton. Annie Banton. She died 1944. 1944, Annie Banton. Beside Annie, we have the grave of Julia Comrie, C-O-M-R-I-E, Comrie. So she was born Julia Smith, and she married into a Comrie family. So she's Julia Comrie, who passed to rest the 22nd July 1941, age 86. Sterling Comrie, born the 28th of November 1879, died the 23rd of October 1963. I've never heard this last name before. Matey Lofthouse, died the 4th of September 1957. There's another grave here beside Matey. Another grave here with nothing on it. This is the grave of Anita Blake, born 1918, died 1993. Anita Blake. Your grave is falling apart. Emma Bromfield, died the 26th of June 1934. Your grave is falling apart, Emma. In loving memory of Sarah Ann Bromfield, died May 30, 1941. So that's Sarah Ann Bromfield. Sarah Ann Bromfield. And look at these graves, older graves, older graves. This was somebody with an identity. As time goes by, nobody knows who they are, who they were. This grave again, it falls in. You can see the stones that they pack in there to make it. Isabel Findlay died on November 30, 1934, in her 66th year. She was 66 when she died. Isabel Findlay. Here's another grave here. Don't know who you were. Here's another grave with some writing, but it's fading. Caroline Elizabeth Foster, who died on the 4th of May 1933. Caroline Elizabeth Foster died May 4, 1933. What was life like in 1933? This grave, nobody knows who that was. This probably can be read. There's a letter says, in memory of Caroline Williams, born 25th of July 1856, died The 4th of March 1931, age 75 years. Caroline Williams. James H. Thompson died the 22nd of June 1929, age maybe that's 61, I'm not sure. So it's James H. Thompson, died the 22nd of June 1924. Beside James Thompson, we have the grave of, I think the part with the name had broken off, because I just see June 1848, fell asleep July, the 12th of July 1931. The name was up here, and it fell, oh, here is it, around here. Let me see. Let me see if I can make it out. Let me see. Okay, let me see if I can just read it. It says Isaac. Oh, crap. I can't read this thing. Let's move on. Say, in memory of Mary Martin, born the 18th of April, 1848, fell asleep the 12th of April, 1929. So this is the grave of Mary Martin, died April 12, 1929. And here we have Maria Powell. No, it's Ellen Maria Powell, who died September 2, 1928, age 37. Ellen Maria Powell. September 2, 1928, that she died. So these are the 20s. These people died in the 20s. Right, let me go down to this line and see what I can find here. Hold on, that look like somebody me know. James. This is the grave of James. What's that? James what? Oh, died January 18, 1923. I may have to try to figure that out later. It's James something. Beside James, you see Mary C. Murray, born the 28th of June, 1890, died the 6th of April, 1923. Mary C. Murray. These older graves, you notice they all broken in. All broken because they were dirt and stone. So over time, this just say Abram Witter. That's it. Asleep in Jesus. Abram Witter. Edwin Robert Finley, born the 30th of September 1875, died the 5th of October 1923. So that's October 5, 1923, that Edwin Robert Finley died. Cleveland Victor Seaton. So that's Cleveland Victor Seaton. Died at Malvern, 20th October 1923. So Mr. Seaton died on October 20, 1923. This is the grave of Mary E. Blair. Died March 28, 1945. Mary E. Blair. Beside Mary, we have the grave of Susan, what's that? Powell. Susan Powell. Who died on July 11, 1924, age 59. Age 59 in 1924. Okay, old grave again. All right, we're at the grave here with a nameplate that will last forever. What is it made up of? Yeah, man, this will last a long time, and it has been lasting a long time. It says, in loving memory of our dear sister, Caroline Eliza Smith, born 4th September 1876, died the 6th January 1926. Caroline Eliza Smith. Could this be a Smith also? Sarah Catherine Martin. Born the 20th of April 1836, died the 5th of November 1926. So she died in the same year as Caroline over there. Caroline died in January 1926 and she died in November 1926. So they are close to each other because of the same year that they died. In memory of Catherine Eliza Pennicott, born March 13, 1869, departed this life January 11, 1926. So that's Catherine Eliza Pennicott. She also died in 1926. This has nothing but just the name. Edward Usher Cole. Edward Cole. Doesn't mean I can't find anything on him though. Ah, these two graves. In devoted memory of our precious aunt, Emma Roberta, who departed. Emma Roberta, the dearly loved daughter of Robert and Anne Smith of Torrington, who passed from earth on the 3rd February 1930, age 80. So let me break that down. This is the grave of Emma Roberta Smith, who died on February 3, 1930. That's our modern way of simplifying it, right? This says, in very loving memory of our aunt Alice Mary, the dearly loved daughter of Robert and Anne Smith of Torrington, who fell asleep in Christ on the 19th of August 1929, age 81. So Alice would be the sister of Emma. They have the same mother and father. So to put it simple, this is the grave of Alice Mary Smith, who died at age 81 on August 19, 1929. Both of them are sisters. And let me see up here. Oh, nice grave here. Falling apart, says, in loving memory of my dear wife, Frances Rose Jackson, who died on the 21st of September 1922 in her 27th year. Okay, so she died young. Frances Rose Jackson died at age 27 on December 21, 1922. They say, my dear wife. So whoever that is, I'm sure he's also dead. Could this be the husband? This thing must be very heavy. I don't know if I can. There's some things written on it, but I'm gonna leave it. I might give myself bosun trying to lift that thing. So I don't know who's buried there. So this one says, in loving memory of Charles Matthew Clark Ferguson, beloved husband of Alice Ferguson and second son of the Honorable J.M. Ferguson, who died on the 27th of October 1922. That could have been his wife over there. All right, guys. Wow. My battery is running low. My battery is running low. And there are a lot of graves over there. So you know what's going to happen, guys? I am going to have to end here. I'm going to end here. And then I'll have to come back another day and do the whole of over there so I can document the people who are buried here. Thanks for watching. This is part 1. Part 2 will be coming soon. Remember to subscribe, share, comment. I love reading your comment. Your comment help me a lot, you know. So until then, thanks for watching, and I see you again in part 2 here from the Bethlehem Moravian Church. Thanks for watching.